Hi, I'm Marsha McCray. I am your Living Intentionally coach. Thank you for joining us on our YouTube page, and I want to encourage you to tell others about this page. Please make sure you are subscribing to this Living Intentionally page and also hit that bell. The bell will notify you when there are uploads to the Living Intentionally page so you can be the first to hear these nuggets. Today, I would love to share with you some really vital information and some great nuggets just to help you live with intention. We don't want to do the same thing and get the same result. We want to incorporate new habits, change our way of thinking so that we can have the life that we really want. And that's my goal here with Living Intentionally page, to share what I implement in my life and what I share with my clients as their Living Intentionally coach. So as you listen to us, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so that you can be notified immediately when there are new videos. So we're going to talk about seasons. We're going to talk about time and how you can't rush it. We're going to talk about seasons and respecting it. Now, seasons are really important to me. I love seasons. I love them so much that even in my book, Living Intentionally Daily Devotional, the book is not written into chapters, it's written into seasons. And it begins with spring, it goes on to summer, autumn, and then it ends in winter. So, one thing about the seasons, you can't skip them. You can't just leap over a season. You have to experience your seasons. The fun and the beauty of spring when things are blooming. You can't skip it. You can't skip spring and go straight over to autumn. You have to experience a summer. And just like you experience a summer, you can't just have fun in the fall, have fun in autumn, and not experience a winter. We are all going to experience some seasons in our lives. And whether they're the best seasons or not so good season, we have to experience it. But know that you have what is within you already to deal with it, to cope and not get drunk with the enthusiasm of a summer or get slumped and depressed when you see the true colors of folks in autumn, or when winter becomes that frigid place in your life. You got to experience that too, love. But you're going to be fine, and you're going to always make your way back to your spring, your renew, your rebirth, and your rejuvenation. But that season will end as well, and you have to go on to the next one. So, with everything, there's a season and there's a lesson and there's growth from the course of life. This life that we're living, I always think of it kind of like as a school, that begins at kindergarten, pre-K, and it ends at, high school or something like it at 12th grade. And it's a course of life. We really have to go through it. And I found myself being a little frustrated when I thought that I was at a higher level and one of my peers I would have assumed was on the same level, and I realized they really wasn't there. Perhaps they were not mature or as focused. But in this course of life, from this university of life that we're experiencing, you have to experience the levels. You have to respect them and you have to experience it. Just like seasons, you can't skip them. And you can't rush the process. You have to trust the process. It is really desiring when I just want to be done. I want to get through this experience. I remember 2018 was a very hard year for me. My gosh, my grandmother transitioned and just life was just hard. And I remember just wanting to just get out of that year. But I knew I had to experience it. I had to mourn. I had to stay very present. And it knew it was going to pass. This too shall pass. And there's been other years where just life was hard. There was heartbreak. There was disappointment. There were things, mistakes that I done, some self-sabotaging. And I wanted to just, skip through it, but I couldn't. I had to own up to my mistakes, find a way to self correct, implement some healthy habits and some better decisions, and make some really important choices. I couldn't rush the process. I had to trust the process. Wanting to have what you want to have when you want to have it is ideal, but it isn't realistic. We all want what we want. We want it then, we want it now. When I want something, I wanted it yesterday. Okay, but that's not that's not normal. That's not realistic. And there's levels and there's seasons to getting to what we want. I often pray, Lord, save me from me. Not save me from this person or that person. Lord, sometimes save me from me, because sometimes I want to skip the process. But I know that there's some very valuable lessons within those that transition period. There's levels, there's experiences that I and you are going to learn in that valley. While climbing that terrain. It's something really interesting when you are a hiker. The first time you hike versus your 100th hike are two polar opposites. There's going to be some resistance training, some endurance that you accomplish. Your muscles are going to form. You're going to find different ways to identify the safest route. You're going to have the necessary tools in order for you to have a safe journey. So there's going to be some hills, there's going to be some valleys, there's going to be some terrain, some rough terrain in this journey of life. But one thing that you're going to have, you're going to be better prepared for it. And, I'm a big fan of The Matrix. I am a Matrix, nerd. And one great thing about The Matrix in the movie, all of those that were in The Matrix, Neo and, that were, experiencing what was The Matrix was, they would upload information. They would upload the karate scene. They would upload how to fly the helicopter and so on and so forth. But they literally would upload right there in the base. They will upload this information. There's no such thing in life right now, okay? Whether or not the Matrix is real or not, who knows? But there's no uploading of information and skipping the process. There's training, there's lessons, there's failure, there's success, there's highs, there's lows, there's endurance, there's belief, there's faith. There's so much that goes into this process, okay? You can't skip that level. You can't skip the seasons because they prepare you for the next level. These experiences, whether it's trials, whether it's great things or bad things, it's all preparing you for something else. There's something that I've learned in my darkest moments that has prepared me for something else. That I remember, don't go down that situation, or don't go fall in that rabbit hole, or don't make that decision. This looks familiar. I know what happened last time I did that. So don't rush the process. Trust the process. And when we try to rush the process, we risk the retention when we try to self-promote. Now, that's if we're looking at life like I do, like a school, like I mentioned, like K through 12. We can't self-promote. We can't go from 3rd grade to 10th grade. There are some people who do skip grades because they're like so smart. Even when you have a child prodigy like that, or someone that's extremely smart like that, they may not be emotionally mature. I was reading this article where this young man is in college, and I think he's probably like 8 or 10 or something like that. And even he has walked to class. He may have the brains, but he may not have the physical capability to protect himself from somebody that's bad, because he's not even full grown in his size. So you really have to experience it. We cannot self-promote ourselves. There's a great few that are able to be promoted. That's great. That's a whole different conversation. But for the normal people like me, I can't self-promote myself. And when I tried to, guess what? I was retained. Okay, I had to go back and I had to repeat a grade. I had to repeat a life situation and a life circumstance. You can't self-promote because that is not going to work. You're going to pretty much always fail. Experience what you're going to experience. Live through it. Literally consciously say, there's a lesson in this. Accept the lesson. And because that lesson is to prepare you for something better. So if you skip the process, you're not going to get this final prize. And I want you to be able to have your destiny. And every experience along this path of life is geared towards that experience. So don't rush the process. Trust the process. Do not self-promote, but endure and learn all that you can. That's it for today. I'm Living Intentionally Coach Marsha McCray. Thank you for subscribing. And if you haven't, what are you waiting for? Subscribe right now. Tell a friend, please, as we get these numbers up. And remember to hit that bell. That will notify you when there are new uploads to the Living Intentionally page. It's a pleasure and honor talking to you. I cannot wait to have another video moment with you. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. Until the next time. Goodbye.